up? It feels like Christmas in April. The NFL draft is finally here. We know what's happening with the first two picks. Why what comes next is a huge mystery. Part of that mystery is the Atlanta Falcons. Will they take Matt Ryan's replacement or make a trade? We've got the latest in moments. And one of our experts says one quarterback in this draft could be the next Aaron Rodgers. Who, what, why, huh? That's all ahead. Get Up starts right now.
And all eyes are on Cleveland, where in 12 hours, the 2021 NFL Draft returns to the big stage in a public setting, and Roger Goodell's hugs, they will be back in full display in prime time.
We'll debate whether that's a good or a bad thing. Hi, do not adjust your television set. It's not 6 p.m. on the East Coast. You did not way oversleep. I'm Elle Duncan. That's Kevin Nagandi.
Good morning, Elle.
Good morning.
We usually host the 6 p.m. Sports Center, but since it's a sports holiday and Greeny's hosting the draft tonight on ESPN, we are here and ready to grow, and our crew is also ready here. We have the Get Up's normal cast of characters this morning. Dan Graziano, Mike Tannenbaum are here with us in Bristol. Dan Orlovsky is out in Cleveland, and Ryan Clark joins us from home, and they have a lot to tell us, fellas.
And why is that? Because the countdown is official. The draft tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, just under 12 hours from now. We will finally answer the questions that have been asked ad nauseum for the last 3 months and potentially longer. And we also have Todd McShay's final mock draft that just dropped minutes ago. And what a surprise. Look at number 3. McShay has the Niners taking quarterback Trey Lance. He then has Justin Fields going number 9 to the Broncos, which leaves Mac Jones, who many people have said is the third best option, going 15th to the Patriots. Again, this is per Todd McShay. Let's check in right now with Adam Schefter. And Shefty, what do you know right now about the latest with the Niners and what they're going to do with that number 3 overall pick?
Well, we know that the Niners have a decision, and Todd McShay believes it's Trey Lance. I can tell you that Trey Lance has closed the gap on Mac Jones. I don't know that it was enough to overturn him when the Niners traded up to the number 3 spot, giving up 2 future additional first-round draft picks. They did so with the intention of taking Mac Jones, but leaving open the idea that they would do a deep dive into Trey Lance and Justin Fields, which is what they've done. And I can tell you that they've come away impressed. I think Trey Lance is the smartest quarterback in this draft class, with a tremendous aptitude, well-liked by his teammates, beloved there at North Dakota State. And he has impressed Kyle Shanahan, and so he has gotten square into the conversation. Now, the 49ers have made their pick. They made the pick this week, and they are keeping it close to the vest. They're not sharing it with a lot of people, but we'll get to find out tonight on ESPN on ABC at 8 o'clock when the Niners get to announce their selection. It'll come down to Mac Jones or Trey Lance, and that pick will set into motion really the remaining picks in the first round, because if they pick Mac Jones, that means that Trey Lance and Justin Fields still are on the board. If they pick Trey Lance, it means Mac Jones and Justin Fields are still on the board. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But the Niners really start off the draft tonight, and what they do will impact the next dozen or so picks.
Listen, we can all agree that they're going to take a quarterback, even if we don't know exactly which quarterback that's going to be. With that being said, what are you hearing about Jimmy G's future in San Francisco?
We lost IFB.
All right, I believe we've lost. Okay, I believe we've lost Shefty. We'll get back to him in just a minute. Kevin, keep the conversation going.
Let's bring in Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky. Guys, off of that McShay mock there, Dan, let's start with you. What happens if the Niners do not draft Mac Jones?
Well, I think the reality is this, Kev. 15 years ago when athletic quarterbacks started to come into the NFL, we often said, maybe not 15 years, 10 years ago, like where they go, there's got to be a very specific fit for a coach to go, okay, this is an athletic quarterback, let's use him the right way. And it's kind of flipped a little bit in the NFL, where a guy like Mac Jones, who isn't that athletic quarterback, there's a lesser group of teams that go, okay, we know how to utilize the things that he does well to fit our system, to excel our system, so to speak. And so there would be a smaller group of teams that I believe would be interested in Mac Jones than there would be interested in Justin Fields or Trey Lance. Because with Justin Fields and Trey Lance, you as a coaching staff can sit there and go, we're okay. Like, we could do so much with these guys because of their big, powerful athletic bodies, their big, powerful athletic arms, right? Where I think Mac Jones is a little bit more of a a very specific fit to what you want to do as an offensive system. So if San Francisco doesn't take him, man, the ripple effect could be significant, because then you're talking about teams like New England. Are they going to go move for him? I don't think they would be overly aggressive. I don't think a team like Washington would be overly aggressive. I don't think a team like Chicago would be overly aggressive for Mac Jones. I do think they would be overly aggressive for a Trey Lance or Justin Fields.
All right, RC, what do you think of this potential fit here with Trey Lance and the 49ers?
I mean, you have to love it. I mean, honestly, I think this keeps Jimmy Garoppolo in play in San Francisco. But when you look at Trey Lance, that big physical body, right, the strong arm, and the way he protected the ball in 2019, this is the type of dude you want if you're Kyle Shanahan or if you're San Francisco 49er fans. And also think back to the Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers last year in prime time, and how great Josh Allen was, how mobile he was, the throws he can make inside and made outside of the pocket to Stephon Diggs. If you're Kyle Shanahan, if you're John Lynch, and you're watching from the sideline, you know what you're saying? I want me one of those. And what you get in Trey Lance is one of those. And I think he can be very explosive in this offense that's very college-like for Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers.
Dan, I want to get your thoughts here on this specific thing. Now, the Niners sent three draft picks to Miami to move up 9 spots to get that third selection here. Many link them to Mac Jones. For them to change potentially the direction and their decision, was this a reckless move to not have a decision when they made the trade?
Listen, I think, and Shefty's kind of reported this, Kev, that they went and made that trade thinking we want Mac Jones. But we're going to give Trey Lance and Justin Fields the opportunity to take that spot. Like, come take it. Prove to us that you guys are worthy of that 3 spot, that we would be making the wrong selection if we didn't choose you. And so I don't think that they went in saying, well, we're just going to figure this one out. We're just go to 3 and see what happens. I think that they really liked a guy and were unknown about the other 2. And they've just tried to really do a good job of making sure that they've checked all those boxes, that they've done all their research, that they've left no stone unturned to figuring out who they think. And Kev, I think this is a big point. If they have a losing record this year, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, that's 4 out of 5 seasons of losing records. This is a big year. They need big-time quarterback play this season.
That other season, though, was going to the Super Bowl and having a fourth-quarter lead, right? And that's why Shanahan has this leash here. And, of course, if we do see Trey Lance go at 3, that changes the entire outlook of the rest of the draft, starting at 4 there with the Falcons, El.
That's 100% right. Many people believe, Kevin, they could be the true wild card because we know what they need. They need a quarterback. But reports are they're enamored with Kyle Pitts. So GM Terry Fontenot explaining yesterday what specifically the franchise is looking for in that 4th overall pick. Take a listen to what he said.
When you're picking at 4, we're trying to take an impact player, whether it's a player that's going to sit or a player that's going to play right away. We want to bring in an impact player that fits the culture, that has the right makeup, and we have a clear vision for that player. We understand we have to add quarterbacks to the roster, and there's a lot of good ones and a lot of good options.
Okay, so not exactly revelatory impact player, some of those buzzwords that we hear in the pre-draft analysis. Shefty is back. We said not today, technical gremlins. It's draft day. We need our Shefty. What sense do you get, Shefty, of what Atlanta's going to do tonight with their pick?
Well, I think most people around the league believe that they'll wind up going Kyle Pitts, the Florida tight end. And you hear people talk about him, and they gush over his talents. You're talking about a guy that Mel Kiper has as the highest graded tight end he's ever put on the draft board. And I think Arthur Smith is infatuated with Kyle Pitts here and all he can do and all the gifts he has. And I think the Falcons have gone back and forth. Now, if the 49ers, again, we go back to that pick, the 49ers go Mac Jones, the Falcons, I think, would be tempted on Trey Lance at number 4. But I also think they're going to be really tempted